It's the most powerful show on television. High drama with intense energy. A show dedicated to a few brave souls who risk their lives for the sake of their craft. Its in-depth reporting goes to the core and unlocks the mysteries behind today's raciest sport. Motorsports. Catch it when you can.
The Speed Station welcomes you to Palm Beach International Raceway for the running of the NextEra Energy 400. In the race analysis, today's event here at Palm Beach International Raceway will be the first NASCAR Cup Series race held in the rain since 1956 at Road America. Also, the race distance has been extended. Last season, this race was 36 laps. This year, it is 42 laps, with the stages split up into thirds, with Stage 1 ending on lap number 14 and Stage 2 ending on lap 28. The Daytona 500 champion Josh Bilicki, along with Team Tommy Baldwin Racing, announced during qualifying that they will be running the full 2021 NASCAR Cup Series season. Sponsorship will be coming additionally from Filter Time, which is owned by Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's stepping up to support the number 71 car throughout the year. Gravely will have a very large presence on the 71 throughout the season, being the Daytona 500 winning sponsor. And with all the added exposure and the $13-some-odd million you get from winning the race, they have very high hopes for the rest of the season. After last week's Daytona 500, Kevin Harvick has been handed a hefty several $1,000 fine from NASCAR after brake checking the number 47 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. within the final 10 laps of the race. Now, Harvick would actually be suspended one race if he would have knocked the 47 car of Stenhouse completely out of the event, but Stenhouse was able to finish in the top 15. But that front-end damage did knock Stenhouse out of winning contention, and it was, in NASCAR's words, completely uncalled for especially a past champion to do such a thing with just 10 laps to go in the 500, brake checking the leader and causing significant front-end damage to Stenhouse's car. Earlier, we had NASCAR Cup Series winner and currently full-time Xfinity Series competitor A.J. Allmendinger out on the road course here at Palm Beach, testing the brand-new next-gen car as part of NASCAR's many, many test sessions that will be taking place over the course of this season, getting this car ready for the full 2022 season. Allmendinger's feedback was pretty good, stating that the car handled much better than the current Generation 6 car around the road course, mainly due to the independent rear suspension on the car, as well as the sequential 5-speed transmission, showing no issues in taking on a road course. Currently, we haven't had fully fledged multi-car testing at any facility as of yet. Currently, the most important thing that needs to be tested on is the intermediate side of this race car, to see if many cars out together on a track like, say, Atlanta or Charlotte will produce a good show. Because so far, the road course tests have been coming up to be pretty good so far. Super Speedway package needs a little bit of work. As you recall, Reddick last week couldn't get the car out of third gear. That almost certainly won't be a problem, however, in the draft. But like I've said, no multi-car testing as of yet, so this is to be seen so far once we get into later in the year when we start to have the teams build their own individual cars, 20 or so cars out to test at once. Currently with just single car testing and being so early from the debut of this car in 2022, not too much to worry about so far. But currently the feedback from Allmendinger is very good. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the NASCAR Cup Series ride-along segment. We're finally out of Daytona. We're here at Palm Beach International Raceway, and let's go over just some key big factors of this race here today. Entirely flat racetrack. We're still in Florida. We're in Palm Beach. Almost no elevation change. Nowhere near like what you would see at, say, Mid-Ohio, Watkins Glen, Sonoma. None of that. Totally flat racetrack. And we have wet weather conditions. We are on Goodyear's wet weather tires. It's a slick racing surface because there's barely any drainage as well. Totally flat racetrack. The water stays everywhere. Gonna have a very hard time getting up to full throttle all the way throughout today's race. Expect a lot of slipping and sliding. Here, listen. Expect that all day. That's just when you try to get a little bit... Here, see, a little bit too excited on the throttle right there. You have to brake just a little bit early than you normally would and try to make smooth movements through the racetrack. Don't try to really go for that qualifying time, I guess you could say, that you would at a dry road course by yourself. You know, say I'm the leader. I would still have to drive as if I'm in a full pack of cars, just with how cautious you have to be so that you don't run off course and end up pounding one of either the concrete walls you see here or one of the tire barriers down here. See, look at how much you have to back up the braking zone right here. Really get the car slowed down. And now let's go over the track layout as we begin our flying lap. And definitely try not to spin the tires on the exit of these very flat turns. Here we come, down to the start-finish line. A very tight chicane, which makes up turns 1 through 3. Here's turn 1. Here is turn 2, a very quick set of corners, and right up here, this kink is turn number 3. Very easy to get your car upset on the exit of 2. Like I said, it's a very low corner, easy to get wheel spin. Now here we are entering turn number 4. A long sweeping corner, but an even larger sweeping corner is turn number 5 right up here. Hard to get the power down everywhere around this circuit. Pretty much a double apex turn 5. And now 6 through 8 are these very quick S's. Here we go, here's turn 6, there's turn 7. And then arguably the hardest part of the track, turn 8, because watch this. You have to very slowly get back up to the throttle into second gear before you can go full throttle because of all the wet weather conditions. Very nice sweeping corner in the dry, but when it's in the wet, it's your worst nightmare for wheel spin. And here, you got to brake very early. I like to use this patch right there to get down onto the brake pedal. Downshift, use the RPM to slow the car down, entering turn 9. Let the car just roll through this long right-hander. On the exit of turn 10, a very quick kink. Try to stay off the curbs because they're slick today. And there is a flying lap around Palm Beach International Raceway. And after his several $1,000 fine, Kevin Harvick has come out to Palm Beach International Raceway swinging, as he won the pole for today's race, locking himself into next season's Busch Clash above Daniel Suarez, Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, Clint Bowyer, Kurt Busch, Jan Magnussen, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and Quinn Half rounding out the top 10. Also make note of that 99 car of Ryan Preece, that being Trackhouse Racing, has made their first start here at Palm Beach. Along with Trackhouse making their first start as a team, we also have Shigeaki Hattori's team qualifying 16th with Christopher Bell, and Bubba Wallace for 2311 qualifying in the 41st position. And now let's get down trackside for the command.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Nice smooth. Be there at the end. The long race, we just got staying contention, no mistakes. That's the big key, no mistakes today. We get up there, we get in the top 10, we ride. That's what we got to do today.
And there's the green flag for the NextEra Energy 400 from Palm Beach International Raceway. Cup Series racing in the rain, down into the slick, turn number 1. Daniel Suarez up into second with Harvick's big jump on the start. The field trying to get through the first 2 turns cleanly. Now exiting turn number 3 down to turn 4 for Harvick. The field trying to keep it together there. You see a bit of a 3-wide moment farther towards the back, with some cars bouncing off each other, but they managed to keep it together. Currently we have Chastain and Hamlin battling for the third position. Hamlin is going to take up the spot. Here comes Clint Boyer down on the inside of the 55 as well. Boyer has passed Ross Chastain. Kurt Busch gave him just a bump, but Chastain managed to keep it together as now Harvick is already out to about a half a second lead above the 00. And the yellow flag is already waving. I believe we've had an incident on the start. As there you see Half into the grass. Very slick racing conditions as now teammates tangle. Keselowski sliding down the back straightaway. Very wet conditions here at Palm Beach, and because this racetrack's almost completely flat, there's hardly any drainage. Here comes Hamlin down on the inside of Daniel Suarez entering turn number 9. Looks like Hamlin's going to be able to take up the second spot. Kevin Harvick, however, will lead the field back to the caution flag. Harvick is your leader, above the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. Then the 00 of Daniel Suarez, the 14 of Clint Boyer, and the 55 of Ross Chastain. An early caution, and that's rather expected as we have a double file start. So that means a whole lot of aggression on the start as the field is twice as compact as it normally would be on a restart. So here's what happened. Entering turn number 1 on the start of the race, Martin Truex Jr. is already being forced 3 wide by Justin Haley and Landon Castle. Haley makes contact, then Castle finishes him off, sending Truex into the runoff area, exiting turn number 2, and that is why we are under caution for the first time today. Truex, there you see, has a very hard time getting out of the wet grass. Practically mud out there. And then exiting turn number 8 on lap 1, Chase Elliott makes contact with his teammate Brad Keselowski, sending the 88 car into the grass, but Brad manages to save it. As you can tell, those are white lettered Goodyear Eagles on the side of the 4 car and the rest of the cars in today's Cup Series field. Those signify the rain tires being ran here today due to the incredibly wet weather conditions. And although it is just lap number 2, we already have some pit strategy going on. Harvick is coming down pit road along with Suarez, Boyer, Keselowski, and Snyder. But we have quite a few lead lap cars staying out, so on the restart, it will be Denny Hamlin, your race leader, above the 1 car of Kurt Busch, and the 33 of Magnussen, and the 57 of Kyle Larson. You know, last season, this very race at Palm Beach International Raceway turned into a fuel mileage gamble. As on the back straightaway on the final lap, the 12 car of Ryan Blaney ran out of gas, with Jan Magnussen in the 33 car picking up the victory. And Harvick once again brake checks another car. Last week it was Ricky Stenhouse Jr., this week it is Ross Chastain, and these two haven't even raced each other yet. That might have actually just been by accident. I don't think that Harvick intentionally brake checked the 55 car. I just think that it's possible that Chastain didn't notice that Harvick was slowing down to let the field by. And if you're wondering to yourself, well, why is Harvick letting the field by? It's because he actually got off pit road in front of several cars that stayed out. And because he came down the pits, he has to let the cars that stayed out that he is in front of by him. So he was trying to do that with the 55 car of Chastain. I guess he expected that the 55 would go around him in one way or another. Chastain thought that the 4 car would pick a lane. The two just ended up running into each other. And yet again, 2 damaged race cars that likely could have been avoided. So already we've had a massive shakeup with half the field hitting pit road. Kevin Harvick already with some pretty significant damage. And Suarez being out front. I wonder how strong that 00 car may be, because it seemed like after the first 1.5 laps that the 11 car was just a little bit better than Suarez. So let's see how this restart's going to go. The 55 car of Chastain has quite a bit of front-end damage from the 4 car of Harvick, but I actually think that Harvick might have got the short end of that stick, because the damage on the 55 doesn't look too significant. In fact, I don't even think it's knocked in the kick-out on the front end of the Camaro nose. As now, the field enters the restart zone on the front straightaway. It's not marked off by any Geico sponsorship like you would see at most other tracks. This is, in fact, a club racing circuit, as now there is the green flag for Daniel Suarez, as Chastain now already takes a look down to the inside of Denny Hamlin. Entering turn number 1, Chastain looks like he's going to try and take up second. He slides a little bit wide on the exit of the corner, gets the left sides into the grass. And we've already had another incident in the back. Chastain going for second on Denny Hamlin. Looks like he has taken up the position. We have trouble in the back. We have a slow car, that being the 18 car of Kyle Busch. Him and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. already in trouble. These two visibly showing their frustrations with each other. Currently, we are back under caution. This was kind of expected for rain racing as Denny Hamlin takes up second spot. The 55 and 33 cars battle for third. But remember that this is the Cup Series' first race in the rain since 1956, and most of these drivers do not have very extensive rain racing skills, except for, say, someone like Magnussen, or an Allmendinger, or Hawksworth. But most of the drivers in the field are rather inexperienced at this, and it's kind of showing, isn't it? Down the long back straightaway, the 00 car of Daniel Suarez has really extended his lead above the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. Here comes Jan Magnussen trying to take advantage of the tight braking zone entering turn number 9. He tried to take a look on the inside of his teammate, but couldn't quite do it. Chastain will slide wide on the exit of the corner, but it won't be enough. Almost contact back there further back with Daniel Suarez leading the field back to the caution above Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, Jan Magnussen, and Kyle Larson. Eric Jones getting a great run out of that 37 after missing the Daytona 500, currently runs in 7th. Once again, the field just trying to get everything they can get entering turn 1 and turn 2. Pretty much the same incident as what happened the first time, with Truex getting turned. This time, Logano makes contact with the 18 car of Kyle Busch. Busch clips the 47 of Stenhouse. These two get their cars corrected. Then they more or less just started leaning on each other. There you see Bubba Wallace has to take evasive action. Same thing with Martin Truex Jr. And I'm not quite sure why these two were acting so frustrated with each other. Maybe Stenhouse thought the 18 car just turned him. But clearly, Kyle Busch had quite a bit of help. But I will say this, the defending champion Kyle Busch, his season has not gone off the way he was hoping. Already DNQ'd for the Daytona 500, and on lap 5 here at Palm Beach, he has already been involved in a spin. And this time by, it looks like Suarez, Hamlin, and several others will be staying out, but Ross Chastain with that slight front end damage, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Kurt Busch, Ryan Preece, defending Daytona 500 winner Josh Bilicki, and several others will be hitting pit road. So yet again, quite a split in pit strategy. Believe it or not, Bilicki, who is, by the way, our current points leader, was actually running in 12th place before he came down pit road. So already a great run for Tommy Baldwin Racing. And Chase Elliott came down pit road just like the other half of the field, but the 9 car is stalled in his pit stall. They have not gotten that car refired as of yet. He is still sitting on pit road. Interesting to note that the 12 and 77 cars are now missing their hood and front bumper covers. That is because they are involved in a bit of a checkup incident entering pit road. And in NASCAR, you are not allowed to completely replace certain body panels unless you are at a certain racetrack, such as a super speedway, where you are required to run that particular piece. And because both their front bumpers were so well caved in, they decided to just cut them both off. Instead of really try and tape any of them up, work on them any, just cut it off. Here, you don't even really need to worry about aerodynamics, except for this long backstretch. So it certainly will hurt them on this whole straightaway. Bit of a fun fact about this back straightaway. You see that stretch of asphalt right behind. That's actually concrete. That is the entire drag strip here at Palm Beach International Raceway that the IHRA runs at. And this back straightaway of the road course is the entire length of the drag strip. At most road courses, there would be a chicane or something to disrupt speeds on a segment of the racetrack with this long of a straight. But instead, here it is just an incredibly tight braking zone entering turn number 9. There you see Chase Elliott in the 9 car is still on pit road with the pace car lights going off. Looks like that 9 might drop a lap down. You know, the most recent road course race points winner in the Cup Series was actually Justin Allgaier, who pulled off the win at the Roval, which led to him getting this full-time sign with Chip Ganassi Racing. And he's trying to go 2 in a row on the road courses, currently running in the top 10. On the front straightaway, here comes the 00 car of Daniel Suarez. And green flag. Hopefully we can make it at least 2 turns before we get to a caution. Down to turn number 1. There you see Eric Jones in the 37 car taking advantage of the 2 car moving off the inside line. Eric Jones now up in the 4th spot as we now watch the field make it out of the front straightaway chicane. Looks like finally everybody made it through cleanly. As there you see Daniel Suarez currently leading the field up into turn number 4. Excuse me, that's turn 5. The long double apex corner. Pretty much the only slightly banked turn on this entire facility. The rest are almost perfectly flat as Hamlin starting to reel in that 00 car of Suarez. But take a look at who currently runs in 3rd spot. That is Jan Magnussen, who won the Busch Clash at the Daytona Road Course and is the defending winner here at Palm Beach, so certainly expect a lot of speed out of him as the 42 car goes off into the grass. Same with Bubba Wallace. A lot of mud and dirt being kicked up onto the racetrack. It's causing a lot of these cars to lose grip on the exit of turn 8 and slide up into the grass. There you see Denny Hamlin all over the back bumper of that 00 car as we now exit turn 9 through the small kink that is turn 10 down to the front stretch. This means that we have finally completed a green flag lap. Daniel Suarez is the first driver to lead a green flag lap. Hamlin currently running in 2nd as here comes Eric Jones down on the inside of Jan Magnussen. Where did this road course speed come out for Eric? As now exiting turn number 3. That 37 car sliding as that 37 got the left sides onto the curb, which is very slick because, it's a painted surface in the rain. But the 37 is now up into 3rd spot. Here comes Matt DiBenedetto down on the inside of the 33, but it looks like Magnussen will hold him off up into turn 5. Michael McDowell and Matt DiBenedetto currently battling for a top 5 spot. It looks like DiBenedetto is going to take it, as now we have more cars going off into the turn number 8 grass. As I said in the pre-race segment, that is a very tough area to get the power down and avoid wheel spin. It looks like a lot of these cars are getting that wheel spin and sliding off into the mud on the exit of the corner. It's very hard to recover from that. Once you break traction in rain, it takes about half the straightaway to get that traction back, and especially it breaks your rhythm. And this being a road course race, rhythm is incredibly important to setting good lap time. Take a look at this. Eric Jones in the number 37 has caught up to the back bumper of the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. Jones currently putting up incredibly fast lap times, being the fastest car on the track by over 0.2 of a second. A lot of speed out of that JTG Doherty Racing 37. They failed to make the Daytona 500, but then again, so did Denny Hamlin. So currently these two teams making massive rebounds from speed weeks at Daytona. As you can see, entering turn number 6, the 33 car of Jan Magnussen has started to drop off from the top 3 car breakaway as Eric Jones trying to get onto the inside of his former teammate, Denny Hamlin. And guess what? The yellow flag is waving once again. Racing back to the start-finish line, 37 car of Eric Jones trying to make up a pass on the inside line of the number 11, entering the tight braking zone of turn 9. Here comes Hamlin trying to put the bumper to the 00. The field fanning out for the top few positions. Suarez puts the block on the 11. Exiting turn 10, your leader is still Daniel Suarez in a close battle above the 11 car of Hamlin and the 37 of Eric Jones. Magnussen still running in 4th, as well as Matt DiBenedetto in 5th. Michael McDowell getting a great run, currently running in 7th spot. And take a look at this. We had a bit of a stack up farther back in the field. There's the 42 car of Justin Allgaier racing for 13th spot. Goes 4 wide, makes contact with the 12 car of Blaney that already has front end damage. Gets clipped by the 38. 12 car runs straight into the tire barrier, exiting turn 10. It looks like his day is over. AJ Allmendinger, the road course ringer, got some damage out of it, as well as the 42 of Justin Allgaier. But Blaney certainly out of the race. And let's go on board with Ryan Blaney. He was still on the lead lap until this impact, where both the front and rear ends of the car got hit very hard. The 12 car is now out of it, your regular season champion from 2020. And this time by, it looks like almost every single lead lap car will be hitting pit road, being led down by Daniel Suarez. Certainly have to make sure you get a good pit stop right here because track position seems to be crucial. And we've had trouble on pit road, that being the 2 car of De Benedetto forced into the wall. The first car out of the pits, I believe, might have been Briscoe. At least he looked like he was flooring it out of pit road. Getting slowed up behind the pace car. He might have sped, I'm not entirely sure. But it looks like Briscoe, for the moment, is being scored as the first car out of the pits above his teammate Daniel Suarez, the 11 car of Hamlin, the 10 of Eric Almirola, and the 37 of Eric Jones. And here's what happened to De Benedetto. See, he's coming out of his pit stall, but here comes the 99 of Priest coming in. And then De Benedetto makes contact with the 88 car of Brad Keselowski and just parks it right there in between the 2 pit stalls. Losing quite a bit of time with this big of a mistake. And now we know why the 53 car Briscoe got out so quickly right there at the line, beating out the 00 car of Suarez. It's because he took a fuel-only stop. No tires, but then again, we are running the rain tires, which do not degrade nearly as fast as the normal slicks. So when we go back green, we will have 3 laps to go in stage number 1. So if the 53 car can hang on to the top spot, that fuel-only gamble might just pay off. Pace car pulls down pit road. Chase Briscoe leading the field down into the restart zone with now just 3 laps to go in stage number 1. Green flag. Very slow restart with the slick track conditions. Here comes the 10 car of Eric Almirola to the inside of Hamlin. Hamlin getting freight train down on the inside line. Hamlin being forced to take the slick inside curb. And already falls down to 5th place. I heard skid marks in the back. I believe we might have had a car go sliding. However, we remain green as the field in quite a bit of a stack up near 15th place. Harvick now starting to fight his way back through the field with that rear end damage. Magnussen, there you see the 33 car starting to drop back. Here comes the 50 car of Kaz Gralla down on his inside. Gralla finally making a race after missing the Daytona 500. And certainly taking advantage of his road course expertise. Here goes the 57 car of Larson off into the dirt. Gralla taking advantage of it. Larson going to take a long time to get back up to full speed. And you know, I really could not think of a much better place for Kaz Gralla to make his 2021 season debut than a road course race in the rain. He's very experienced with road course racing, especially the way to race a stock car in the rain. He's very good at it. So this is certainly a great fit for him and why he's running so far up front. One of the reasons Richard Childress even hired him for this 50 car is the massive amount of versatility in his driving skill, and he's certainly showing that with a top 10 running position at the moment. As here comes Eric Jones down to the inside, the 10 car of Almirola. Once again, forces Almirola to take the curb. Now sliding it on the exit of turn 3, Eric Jones back up into 3rd. Teammates running for the top spot. Briscoe currently your leader, with the 00 car of Suarez running in 2nd. There you see just a little bit of contact right there between the 53 and 00 cars of Briscoe and Suarez. That was exiting turn number 5. Now through the S's. 6, 7, and 8. Very difficult exit of turn 8. 00 car slides it just a little bit. Hamlin as well. Especially Gralla right there. Kurt Busch making contact with Magnussen. These two have quite the rivalry. As you remember, back in the August race at Daytona last season, Kurt Busch wrecked Magnussen out of the playoffs, and I'm sure that Magnussen has yet to forget. Is Clint Boyer bump drafting Kaz Gralla down the back stretch? It's not quite the Daytona road course anymore. And we are racing in the rain. Now we have a battle for the lead. 00 car of Suarez battling with the 53 car of Briscoe. Suarez now out front. as Eric Jones going for second spot. With the slow car down on the inside line, we are now in the final lap of stage number 1. Eric Jones does not get the preferred line on the exit of turn 2. 53 cars still crowding him, and Briscoe will hold second. You know, Daniel Suarez is one of those drivers who you really wouldn't expect to be a road course ringer. You know, he's not quite Allmendinger or Hawksworth, but he has a lot of road course experience and is quite good at this variety of racetrack. Even though he hasn't won here yet, he still runs up front very consistently and currently is leading with about half a lap to go in stage 1. And how about this kid, Cole Custer? He went winless in his rookie season last year, but currently running in 4th spot in the 41 car. Quite a good run going so far, now trying to get down to the inside of the 37. They run side by side down the backstretch. Eric Jones caught the curb just a little bit right there. Custer up to side draft. Also Hamlin trying to make a move down to the inside of Almirola. Currently Suarez checking out above his teammate Briscoe, as here comes Cole Custer down on the inside line, going for 3rd spot. And if he can take it, which it looks like he has taken the spot, that means he has moved from 5th to 3rd in 1 lap. And at the start-finish line, Daniel Suarez will win stage number 1 from Palm Beach, above the 53 car of Chase Briscoe, the 41 of Cole Custer, the 37 of Eric Jones, and the 11 car of Denny Hamlin, who stole 5th off of Eric Almirola. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by RFJ, the official home of the RFJ AI series. By Knife Friend 725, the brains behind Project Retroval. And by Anthony's Online Simulation League. And believe it or not, because of the very repetitive cautions, Chase Elliott, after stalling on pit road and dropping almost 1 lap down, has actually driven his way all the way up to 19th spot. So, from a bad day, straight back to a half-decent one, and before the end of the race, he may be a contender for the top spot. And also, you know, Kyle Busch, who wrecked very early in this race, right around lap number 4, he has driven his way up into 15th. Truly showing championship-level performance. A driver who is not doing so well today, however, is the driver, the number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Camry, Martin Truex Jr. He currently runs in 39th position. And while running out in the back is better than missing the race, which he did last week in the Daytona 500, still you would expect a little bit better performance out of Truex, especially at a road course, a track type that he loves so much. And it looks like all the lead lap cars will be hitting pit road this time by being led down by Daniel Suarez. They might pound down the hood of that 53 car of Briscoe just a little bit, get it out of the air, and help his aerodynamics. A very, very tight pit road here at Palm Beach, and that's mainly because the entire field is trying to use it at once. Remember that this is a club racing circuit, and Harvick just made contact with Suarez exiting pit road, but Suarez is the first car off, above Eric Jones, Denny Hamlin, Cole Custer, and Kurt Busch. The 53 car lost about 4 spots on pit road. But you see, this is proof of how narrow this pit road gets when it's fully active. There's cars coming off, cars coming in. The pace car is in. Daniel Suarez slowly leading the field back down to the start-finish line for the start of Stage 2. And there's the green flag for Stage number 2. Yet again, another very slow restart as the field has to manage the wheel spin. Down on the inside line, here comes Hamlin on the outside of Eric Jones going for second. Hamlin gets those left sides right in the grass, but he clears that 37. Kurt Busch as well, getting around the 41 car of Cole Custer. And there Magnussen tries to dive it into the corner. Can't quite do it as Custer cuts him off, and Suarez starting to run away with the lead once again, about a half-second gap above Hamlin. Magnussen down on the inside line of the number 41 car of Cole Custer, trying to move his way back up into the top 5, as Custer gets up into the grass, easily letting Magnussen by. Currently, Suarez with a huge margin above the 11 car of Hamlin, That's after a great restart. But how about the performance out of Eric Jones in this number 37? We didn't expect that much out of the team, being the second JTG Doherty Racing entry and failing to make the Daytona 500, but currently they are making their names known here at Palm Beach, currently running in a podium position. As there you saw, farther in the back, the 10 car of Almirola got up on the outside line curb. Same with the 14 car, 3 wide racing near the back of the field. On the front stretch, the 57, 95, and 14 cars were making contact. Very dicey racing, as there you see Larson shaking the car down into turn number 1. Very wet entrance into that corner as all the rain kind of rolls down off the front stretch into the chicane. Larson still battling with Harrison Burton, but it looks like he has taken the spot. And also, we should mention what team is in this race. Richard Childress Racing. They actually made the NextEra Energy 400 with all 3 of their cars. There you see Austin Dillon battling with Chase Elliott. The 8 car of Tyler Reddick made the race, as well as the 50 of Kaz Gralla. Pretty good runs going so far for all 3 cars, but mainly for Gralla. As right now, Hamlin's starting to run down the 00 car of Suarez. The lead gap is down to probably about 4/10. And a very wide exit of turn number 8 for Corey LaJoy. Stacks up most of the field. Ross Chastain almost ran to the back of him, much like he actually did run into the back of Kevin Harvick earlier in the race. Has some damage as well on the 99 car of Ryan Preece, probably from a checkup. Quite significant front-end damage on that car. However, it appears to be above the radiator, so they won't have any issues with overheating. Although some 3 wide racing going on, as here comes Bowman and Boyer pressuring him up on the outside line. But it looks like Bowman is going to clear him. Priest still fighting alongside Boyer. Priest up into the grass. It looks like the 99 car is going to take it. Just a reminder, this is the battle for 24th position, and it is quite intense. And look at the gap now entering turn number 6 between the 00 and 11 cars. Hamlin is all over the back bumper of Daniel Suarez. Exiting turn 8, you saw the 00 car hang out the rear end just a little bit. Here comes Magnussen up to the bumper of the 1 car of Kurt Busch. Forced him wide. Busch got up on the slick curbing, exiting turn number 8. Magnussen side drafting him down the very long drag strip back stretch, trying to outbrake him entering turn number 9. As the 11 car of Hamlin still hounding the back bumper of the 00. Oh, he exits a little bit wide, getting out of turn 9, but slides right up in front of the 11 car out of 10. Now down to the inside. Here comes Hamlin, trying to outbrake Suarez into the front stretch chicane. Hamlin taking a very good line. Now exiting the corner, runs wide. Suarez forcing him to use up all of the racetrack and a little bit more. But Denny Hamlin is now out front at Palm Beach. Magnussen has cleared the 1 car of Kurt Busch for 4th position. Eric Jones still hanging on to that 3rd spot. Just an update on your new teams. Bubba Wallace in the 23 car for 2311 Racing currently runs in 27th position. The 99 car of Ryan Preece has now dropped into the 30s, currently running in 30th spot. And just behind him is the other new team, Hattori Racing Enterprises, with the 61 car currently running in 32nd. Here comes Magnussen getting the run down to the inside of the 37 of Eric Jones. Those 2 running for 3rd spot. Suarez still has not let the 11 car of Hamlin out of his sights. Up to the back bumper. They actually made contact. Entering turn 9. I guess Suarez did not like how Hamlin raced him on the last lap. Forces him to use up some of the curbing. Side by side down to the stripe. Some great racing going on right now as Magnussen just took up 3rd. Suarez back out front. And these 2 running side by side has allowed Magnussen to close the gap by quite a few tenths of a second. Already starting to get right up to the back bumper, that 11 car of Denny Hamlin. Cole Custer also still in the mix, currently running in 6th place. At the stripe last time by, he was scored as being about 3 seconds behind the race leader, but it looks a little bit closer than that as of now. But we practically have 5 cars under a blanket from Kurt Busch up to Suarez within about 1 second. And the yellow flag is being displayed on the speedway. We're not getting very much long-run racing here at Palm Beach, but like I've said, that's kind of expectable out of rain racing. As you saw, Magnussen got those left sides up into the mud on the exit of Turn 8. Suarez still controlling the field. I don't think Hamlin can try and outbrake him entering Turn 9. The gap's just a little bit too far. He can try and close it to potentially make a run on him exiting 10. Hamlin certainly makes the most of the braking zone, but not quite up to the bumper. As you saw the last lap, Suarez actually gave him the bumper, which is what forced the 11 car to move off the bottom and allowed Suarez to move into the lead. If he had one more lap, Hamlin could probably get him into Turn 1, but Daniel Suarez leads the field back to the caution above Denny Hamlin, Jan Magnussen, Eric Jones, and Kurt Busch. Some great racing early on, although it's been marred by quite a few cautions. And here's what happened exiting turn number 9. Martin Truex Jr. gives the bumper to Justin Haley in the 77, turning him straight into the tire barrier and knocking the 77 car out of today's race. A lot of hard hits for that turn 10 tire barrier today. Both Ryan Blaney and Justin Haley have impacted that wall almost straight on. But there's a reason that tire barrier is there, because if that wasn't there, both those two cars would have hit solid concrete walls. So I would say that the tire barrier is certainly doing its job. And just take a look at who is currently running in 8th spot. That is Josh Bilicki for Tommy Baldwin Racing. They are certainly doing the most with what they can, and especially after getting that huge momentum boost by winning the Daytona 500, currently running in the top 10 at Palm Beach. And as they announced during qualifying entering this week, they will be running the full 2021 schedule. They're getting some sponsorship from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s companies. It's looking to be a great season for Tommy Baldwin Racing. Here's a bit of a story that's gone overlooked so far. Landon Castle made his first start of the season here today. He is running in 36th place, however, but still, 89 car has made it. And now Suarez once again leads the entire field onto pit road. I do not think we will have anybody staying out this time by. And also another driver that we have yet to mention who is running in the top 15 is actually Anthony Alfredo, a rather experienced road course racer who is a full-time rookie this season in the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series and is doing quite a good job so far in that 38. And the first car off pit road is Suarez getting out in front of Hamlin, then Magnussen, Eric Jones, and your 5th place runner looks like it is Josh Bilicki. A great pit stop as Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick hit coming off of pit road. Harvick today certainly has not wanted that first place pit stall. They thought it would be an advantage, and they actually got first pick because they won the pole. However, it certainly has not been playing out in their favor as they have been involved in 2 pit road accidents. Green flag. Just 5 laps to go in stage number 2. There you see Joey Logano making some moves down on the inside. Same thing with Magnussen. 33 car jumps down to the inside line of Denny Hamlin. Magnussen runs the corner just a little bit wide, gets up into the mud. But Magnussen now up into second. Hamlin dropping back quickly. Teammates now 1-2 with Daniel Suarez out front. Magnussen currently running in second. The 11 car of Denny Hamlin trying to battle alongside the 37 car of Eric Jones. And it looks like Hamlin has cleared Jones. Down the inside line, here comes Joey Logano getting around the 71 car of Josh Bilicki and trying to take the 37 in the same move. Entering turn number 6, it looks like the 22 car of Logano holds the position above the 37 of Eric Jones. Now running out of the very treacherous turn number 8, the 37 up into the grass. Same thing with the 71, but especially the 24 runs straight through the grass as now contact gets made between the 8 and 88. Brad Keselowski sliding into the mud, but he keeps it going. No one has spun so far. Bubba Wallace practically bump drafting the 8 car of Reddick, entering turn number 9. The field got massively stacked up by that incident exiting turn 8, but still they managed to keep it together so far. Suarez still out front, Magnussen running in second, Hamlin in third, and Logano in fourth. Kurt Busch has got a pretty significant gap above the rest of the field. Currently runs in 5th spot. And look at this gaggle of cars that has formed in the back, mainly because of those checkups exiting turn 8. Side by side right there between the 50 and 17 cars. This battle is, believe it or not, for 26th spot. But Kevin Harvick was finally getting his way back up into the top 10, got stuck behind one of the cars that got up into the mud, hit the rear end of that car, and currently runs in 17th spot, behind Kyle Busch. I tell you what, racing in the rain certainly turns these road course races into a race of attrition. But it really shows you how dynamic of a driver, how versatile you have to be successful in the NASCAR Cup Series. Just last week, we were running on the super speedway at Daytona. You have to be a master of drafting there, and right here, you have to be a master of car control, being on a road course and in the wet weather conditions. Currently, Daniel Suarez is the best at that, above his teammate, Jan Magnussen. And with Magnussen's incredible amount of road course racing experience, it looks like he might be taking that lead away fairly soon. He is so far the only Cup Series winner at this facility, winning last year in a fuel mileage gamble with Ryan Blaney. This is 3 wide, almost at the entire tail end of the field. The 55, 47, and 99 cars battling in the low 30s. And it looks like the 47 car of Stenhouse might take it, as there you see the 88 car of Keselowski, who dropped back an incredible amount of track position, currently running in 40th spot, the last car that is still running because of that incident on the backstretch. Keselowski, however, will be caught back up with the pack once we get the stage number 2 caution. Believe it or not, we actually have a lap car up in front of the race leader, Daniel Suarez. It is now the last car on the lead lap, which is Myatt Snider in the number 43 car. He had to come down pit road, and the team cut off the front bumper and hood because of that checkup incident exiting turn 8 just a couple laps ago. They got front end damage and just decided to cut off all the pieces that were flapping. Down the backstretch, you can see how much that's affecting the... Oh, geez. Huge front end damage on the 00 car as he rams the 43 of Myatt Snider. Like I was going to say, you could see how much that damage on the front end was affecting Snyder's aerodynamics. Now Magnussen moves him up off the inside line. Snyder thought he just had front end damage, but now Suarez and Magnussen have given him rear end damage. And speaking of front end damage, however, quite a bit of cosmetic damage on the 00 car of Suarez. It's going to affect his aerodynamics as well. Just like Ryan Preece's incident much earlier in the race, however, it is above the radiator. So don't expect any kind of terminal issues out of that damage, but it certainly won't help their speed as I hear a car into the tire barrier. Kyle Busch and Jack Hawksworth have gone off hard into the turn number 1. Tire barrier caution flag is out. This lap will end stage number 2. Currently, Daniel Suarez is your race leader above Jan Magnussen, who is just a couple tenths behind that 00 car, trying to run him down as we now exit turn number 8 with just 2 turns left. The long backstretch, and there you see Kurt Busch off into the grass. He manages to gather it back up. Down the long back straightaway, that 00 car got a great launch out of turn number 8 to put about a half a second on the 33 car of Magnussen. Through turn 9, now out of turn 10. Daniel Suarez will sweep stages 1 and 2 at Palm Beach International Raceway. Magnussen in second. Hamlin in third, Logano in fourth, and fifth place was taken by Cole Custer. But you have to wonder if that front-end damage from the 43 car of Snyder is going to affect Suarez. So here's what happened. Entering turn number 1, Kyle Busch down the inside of the 8 car of Reddick trying to make a pass on that number 8, but here comes the 5 of Jack Hawksworth, who tries to dive bomb it, entering turn number 1, gets to the inside of the 18 car of Kyle Busch, makes some contact with the 18 and turns them both dead straight towards the tire barrier. Heavy damage for both cars, but Kyle Busch got the short end of the stick. Busch is now out of the race. Definitely not the first start of the year the defending champion wanted to kick off his title defense. NASCAR on Speed Station is being brought to you by RFJ, the official home of the RFJ AI series, by Knife Friend 725, the brains behind Project Retroval, and by Anthony's Online Simulation League. And yet again, Daniel Suarez is leading most of the lead lap cars down pit road. Oh, the 41 car just pounded the attenuator on the end of the pit road because he clipped the 22 car of Joey Logano. Logano avoided pit road, just completely missed it, did not want to miss it, but he will be staying out. But that 41 car has just pounded the pit road entrance wall. He is almost certainly out of the race. And so the first car off pit road was Daniel Suarez getting out in front of Eric Almirola, then Denny Hamlin, then teammates Justin Allgaier and Kurt Busch. So believe it or not, Magnussen's pit stop was actually done fast enough that he got out in front of the cars that stayed out. Those being Logano, Buescher, DiBenedetto, and Ankrum. But Logano in particular had to stay out, not by choice, but because he was almost turned around by Cole Custer, who actually is still in the race. And he pounded the attenuator wall and is still in it. So Custer still has a shot at getting a half-decent finish. So kind of interesting that we have Magnussen, who got off pit road in first, lining up in front of 3 cars that did not come down pit road, 4 counting Ankrum, and then we have the second car off pit road. So that's just how much faster Magnussen got out of the pits. Currently, the 3 cars out of today's race are Kyle Busch, Justin Haley, and Ryan Blaney. All 3 of those drivers are out of it due to crash damage. And also, the only car that is 1 lap down will be restarting in 3rd place, that being the 43 car of Myatt Snider. But look, Joey Logano is coming down pit road with the pace car. So I guess that's how close he was on his fuel situation, where even though he was forcibly taken off of the pit road entrance by Cole Custer, he still has to come down with the pace car, but he is going to lose quite a bit of track position as Magnussen up into the restart zone. Green flag is out. The car that is second in line is 1 lap down. Here comes Buescher down to the inside. As you saw, the 48 car of Alex Bowman is still stalled on pit road. That's been an issue with both Hendrick cars today. The 48 of Bowman and the 9 car of Chase Elliott have both stalled on pit road. The other Hendrick cars so far have yet to have this issue. But now, Chris Buescher up to second in line. 26 car of Tyler Ankrum going for what would be 3rd off of Snider, although Snider is 1 lap down. Ankrum currently holds the 3rd spot above DiBenedetto, but looks like the 2 car is going to take it. As look at this gap that Magnussen has gotten. That's the result of getting off pit road in first in front of cars that actually stayed out. It's just how the pace car picked up the leader because of pit road speed limit actually being faster than pacing speed limit here at this track. Rather unique. As DiBenedetto still trying to get around the 43. Here goes the 43 car of Snider up into the dirt. Same situation for the 10 and 1 and several others actually. As now the field has to take evasive action to get around the 43 car of Snider. And here's Kevin Harvick, by the way, back up into the top 10. You cannot stop this man. Magnussen, however, has a very large and controlling lead above the field in the 33 car. There you see back about almost 1 second is the 17 of Chris Buescher. Harvick now to the inside of the 42 of Justin Allgaier. Drag racing him back down to the start-finish line. Harvick has taken up the spot. Allgaier going to try and outbrake him into turn 1. Can't quite do it, so Harvick is now up into 7th. Hamlin and Ankrum battling for position. This is for the 5th spot. It looks like Ankrum's going to hold it, forcing that 11 car wide. Oh, Alfredo into the grass. Has to cut back down to the racing surface, but is going to lose a lot of track position. Same thing for Landon Castle, who almost pounds the tire barrier. Look at this, 3-wide racing. Contact being made in the back of the field between the 34 of McDowell and the 16 of Allmendinger. Close racing towards the back of the field as the 1 car of Kurt Busch is also in this mix. There you see the 19 car of Martin Truex Jr. still losing track position. And there's the 22 car of Logano way in the back of the field after being forced to miss pit road on the last pit cycle. And here we go. Matt DiBenedetto has just taken up the second spot off the 17 car of Chris Buescher. 0-0 now on the inside of Buescher going for third. And it looks like Buescher's going to clear him up into turn 5. Believe it or not, Cole Custer is still in today's race, currently running in 37th position after slamming that pit road tire barrier. And now Ankrum and Harvick both up into the grass. Making contact on the exit of turn 8. Bell has to take evasive action down on the inside. Ankrum going to lose certainly a lot of track position. This mistake's been made almost all day long. There you see the 50 car having to avoid the 5 car of Hawksworth. Now Bubba Wallace gets stalled out. And now down on the inside line, this is for the battle of around 20th position. Harrison Burton trying to go 3 wide underneath Truex and Byron into turn 9. And we have had yet another car get into the turn 10 tire barrier. I believe that is Christopher Bell in the 61. Currently, Jan Magnussen is your race leader, trying to lead the field back to the caution flag. And now exiting turn 10 with a very large lead above the field, Jan Magnussen races back to the caution flag as the race leader. Currently second place being held by Matt DiBenedetto. Third position being held by Chris Buescher. Fourth by Daniel Suarez. And fifth by the winningest driver last season, Denny Hamlin. And here's what happened to Christopher Bell. Exiting turn number 9, Kevin Harvick makes contact with the back bumper, the 61. Turning Bell almost straight into the turn 10 tire barrier. The third car to be knocked out of the race in that exact wall. Jan Magnussen leading the field down to the restart zone with just 7 laps to go here at Palm Beach. Green flag. Suarez already takes a look down to the inside of Chris Buescher, entering turn number 1. And it looks like Suarez might be able to take up the spot. Slides through the mud. Suarez up into third. Allgaier takes up 5th. Getting around Denny Hamlin now to the inside of the 17. As Matt DiBenedetto got a very good restart on the 33 car of Magnussen. Right up to the back bumper at the moment. Kevin Harvick in the 4 car has just gotten around Eric Jones in the number 37. Harvick, after having issue after issue in today's race, still running in the top 10. Well, Truex really slides off into the dirt. Same with Joey Logano, a bit of 4-wide racing, as the field now gets stacked up because of those two's mistakes. Out at the front of the field, Magnussen still holds the top spot above the 2 and 00 cars. A bit of a battle for position between Hamlin and the 17 car of Buescher. They just made contact on the exit of turn 10, but they managed to keep it together. Hamlin trying to set up a move down to the inside in turn 1. Is he going to make the look? No, he stays in line. Kevin Harvick, they've been working on that rear end of the car all day, but he has finally made his way back up into 7th position, currently running fast enough to possibly get around the 42 of Justin Allgaier. Here comes Denny Hamlin down to the inside of the 17. Exiting turn number 5, it looks like Hamlin is going to take up the 5th position. Hamlin now onto the inside of Chris Buescher, entering turn number 6. Now through the small portion of the S's. Hamlin trying to pressure him on the exit of turn 8. Buescher up into the grass. And it looks like Denny Hamlin has moved up into 4th spot. Kurt Busch makes contact with the 43 into the inside wall, but he keeps it together. Myatt Snyder is already one lap down and pretty much has damage on every single side of that race car except for on the roof. Currently, the yellow flag is being displayed as Justin Allgaier down on the inside line of the 17 car of Buescher trying to take up the spot. Buescher runs extremely wide. And down to the start-finish line, Jan Magnussen is your race leader. Above Matt DiBenedetto, Daniel Suarez, Justin Allgaier, and Denny Hamlin. And it was not the 43 car that brought out the caution. It was actually the 38 car of Anthony Alfredo, clipping Corey LaJoie on the exit of Turn 5, sending him around down that small straightaway. You know, you really have to wonder now if some of these front runners are going to be good on fuel. This was a big conversation topic last year when the finish was decided on fuel mileage, with Blaney running out on the backstretch and Magnussen taking the victory. But the 2 and 17 cars in particular did not pit when most of the front runners came down pit road, so they have just a couple laps more, actually, to save, because some of these front runners might be good on fuel to the finish. But people like DiBenedetto and Buescher are probably pretty close when it comes to making it all the way to the end of lap 42 without yet another caution. And just take a look at this car that is being driven by Quinn Half, the number 40 that is completely missing the hood and the front bumper cover. It's quite the advertisement for CNR radiators. But Half is currently running in 16th place. In fact, as you recall in the Daytona 500, he got into a bit of an incident with Joey Logano. That has yet to be completely settled, but there's mostly understanding surrounding it. The 40 car of Half accidentally got into the back bumper of the 22 of Logano because Logano, first of all, was out of gas. It's not like he really could have done anything. And Half already had significant crash damage from the early race big one. So Half didn't have any brakes. They were going to come in and retire the car anyway. And so we are going to go green with just 3 laps to go here at Palm Beach International Raceway once we get the restart. So what that means is if we get any more cautions after this one, this race will likely end under yellow. Green flag. Just 6 more miles between Jan Magnussen and the chance at being a 2-time winner at Palm Beach. Down on the inside, here comes Justin Allgaier going for 3rd spot on Daniel Suarez. He shoots around the outside. The most recent road course race winner, Allgaier up into 3rd spot. Looks like the field made it through the restart cleanly. DiBenedetto not letting Magnussen get away with the lead. Bit of a 3-car battle right now. Magnussen hoping to put another large gap above the field. But that 2 car is fast, as well as the 42 of Justin Allgaier. Almost out of nowhere, showing race-winning pace. And how about Kevin Harvick? Currently running in the top 10, having the race completely through adversity all throughout the day. Ankrum and Brad Keselowski almost crashed exiting turn number 8, but they keep it together. As back in the battle out front, here comes the 42. Right up to the back bumper of the 2 car, exiting turn number 9. They almost made contact. DiBenedetto has to give him some room right here. He cuts right down in front of him. Magnussen still the leader at the stripe. Just 2 laps to go. Allgaier trying to get around that 2 car DiBenedetto as fast as possible so he can have a shot at Magnussen for the race win. Harvick now up into 6th spot, trying to make the best of what has been a very difficult day. All over the back bumper of Denny Hamlin at the moment. And how about Michael McDowell running in 8th spot and Eric Jones running in 9th? Through the double apex turn number 5, Magnussen does not wrap the bottom quite so well. That let the 2 car of DiBenedetto gain about a 10th or 2. now entering turn number 6. Still have 3 cars in the mix for the race lead. Exiting turn number 8 onto the very long back stretch. The 2 car of DiBenedetto trying to set up the ability to build a run on that 33 car of Magnussen. The road course ace in the wet weather conditions still controlling the field. Down to turn number 9. The yellow flag is being displayed. One last shot for the 2 car. Contact being made between the 42 and 2. And I believe that's going to be it. Jan Magnussen, if he can make it back 1 lap under caution, has swept the first 2 races at Palm Beach International Raceway. Last season was the inaugural event, this year being the second. If he can make it just about 2 miles under caution, he has opened up this speedway with 2 consecutive wins. And here's what brought out the caution. Yet again, Anthony Alfredo puts the bumper to the 55 car of Ross Chastain, sending him around on the exit of turn 5. That's the second time that Alfredo has done that move. And you know what? It is really only fitting that a race with this many incidents, one being held in the rain, would end under caution. Most of the race was actually held under caution, but it was not without excitement, with quite a few battles up front throughout the entirety of today's race. And although it is under caution, here comes Magnussen exiting turn number 10. Down the front straightaway to win another road course race and the second ever race at Palm Beach International Raceway. This racetrack has had 2 races, but only 1 winner. Magnussen took home the victory last season, and now with a win this year, locking himself into the playoffs if he can stay in the top 30 in points. This is Magnussen's 3rd career win. He won at the Roval back in 2019, right here in 2020, and yet again, Palm Beach International Raceway in 2021. And he's already gotten the year off to a great start after winning the Busch Clash. Now back in victory lane on the 2 road course races held this season. And after an incredibly messy race here on the slick road course at Palm Beach International Raceway in heavy rain, Jan Magnussen, the IMSA champion and road course specialist, has taken home the victory above Matt DiBenedetto, Justin Allgaier, the driver who swept both stages, Daniel Suarez, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, who fought back to a 6th place finish, Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell, Eric Jones, and A.J. Allmendinger, actually surprisingly rounding out your top 10. A.J. wasn't up front for really any portion of today's race, but manages to bring it home in 10th spot. And how about Josh Bilicki? The Daytona 500 winner finishes in 14th place here at Palm Beach, as well as Ryan Preece finishing in 16th position. And Joey Logano, after being forced to miss pit road, finishes in 17th, but probably even more impressively, Cole Custer, after pounding that pit road entrance wall, finishes 26th. I mean, talk about a comeback story. That might be more impressive than Kevin Harvick's. And in your regular season point standings, believe it or not, after a win in the Daytona 500 and a 14th place finish here at Palm Beach, Josh Bilicki is still your points leader by 4 points above Justin Allgaier, who moves up 10 spots to 2nd. Also tied for 2nd in points is Kevin Harvick, who moves up 6 spots. But due to a tiebreaker, he is scored in 3rd. McDowell currently sets 4th in points. He moved up 6 spots. Elliott moved up 6 into 5th. Brad Keselowski remains 6th in points. Jan Magnussen picks up a full 27 positions in points with his win to move up to 7th in points. Chris Buescher picks up 16 spots to move to 8th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. picks up 4 to move to 9th. And Joey Logano picks up 6 spots to move to 10th position. And in your playoff standings, the 2 drivers who are locked in to the playoffs at Darlington for the Southern 500 are Josh Bilicki and Jan Magnussen. I bet you weren't expecting those 2 names to be atop that list after 2 races. Justin Allgaier sets third, 26 points above the cut line. Same situation for Kevin Harvick. McDowell is 23 points above. Chase Elliott is 19 points above. Keselowski 17 above. Buescher 10 above. Stenhouse Jr. 8 points above. Same situation for Joey Logano. Matt DiBenedetto 3 points above. Parsons 2, but he didn't even run the race here at Palm Beach. They only intend on running the crown jewel races in the 2020 season. They took all of the purse money from finishing second in the Daytona 500 and are putting it straight back into their Camping World Truck Series program because Parsons is trying to win a title in that series. Drew Herring currently sets 1 point above the cut line after failing to make today's race. Daniel Suarez as well, 1 point above the cut line. Greg Biffle, really unsure how many races he's going to run this season. They did not show up here at Palm Beach. However, he is still within the playoff cut line, currently tied for the final spot in the playoffs in a three-way tie between himself, Myatt Snyder, and A.J. Allmendinger. Then Denny Hamlin is 1 point out. Same situation for Kurt Busch and Chase Briscoe. And from all of us here at the Speed Station, we hope that you have enjoyed today's telecast of the NextEra Energy 400. The next time you will be seeing us will be for the second points race of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series season from Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California.